Hi, Kevin Coupe here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. I'm in Orlando, Florida right now, where I had the opportunity this week to give a speech to something called the Florida Agricultural Financial Management Conference. And this is sort of an interesting gig for me to have because, to be perfectly honest with you, when it comes to agriculture, I'm not so great. I may have one of the brownest thumbs out there. I don't grow anything really well. And as far as financial management is concerned, well, my wife will tell you, let's say I'm not real world class. But it was an interesting group, and I had a chance to talk to them about some of the profound changes that I see taking place in the business and in the culture, and talking about where the industry needs to go, in my humble opinion, and it was sort of an interesting time. What was partly interesting to me this trip is that I've encountered a bunch of little changes as I've been traveling over the last few days. I was in Chicago last weekend, and it was interesting. One of the things that I saw there's a cupcake retailer called Sprinkles, and they've actually created what they're calling a Cupcake ATM. Now, they've done this in the Chicago store, and they've also, I think, done it in one in LA. And what they've basically done is created a cupcake vending machine outside their brick and mortar location. And this has lots of different advantages to it. First of all, at the end of the day, when they're closing up shop, they can take all the cupcakes, they can put them in the vending machine, and they have a little bit longer shelf life that way. There's less shrink. It's great if it's midnight, you get a craving for a cupcake, you go on down to the ATM, you get what you want. At the same time, if you get there during the day and they're open and there's a line, which there sometimes is, you can use that as sort of an express lane. Now, are there disadvantages to it? Sure. I mean, frankly, their cupcakes are a little bit pricey. But I guess if you want a gourmet cupcake, you're willing to pay it. The other thing is, sometimes they run out of stock. I have to say that when I ordered a cupcake for research purposes only, the one I got was gluten-free. And quite frankly, the box that it came in was probably moister and tastier. But maybe that's just me. Anyway, it was an interesting sort of change. The other thing that happened in Chicago, which I thought was sort of interesting, is I went to a Citibank at one point to get some money out of the ATM. And once the transaction was done, as the machine always does, it asked me whether or not I wanted a receipt. But it offered me a different option this time. It said, do I want a receipt on paper or I like one emailed to me? I'd never been asked that by an ATM before, and I thought it was really smart. It's a much better way to kind of keep track of things than all those little slips of paper that end up being, in your pocket, in your wallet, on your dresser, in a cardboard box, and you've got to figure it out down the road. Emailing it to me made a lot of sense. I thought that was really interesting. I've asked some friends, and nobody else has ever done that. And no bank has ever done it for them. I thought that was fascinating. And it made me wonder, I know the Apple Store has been doing this for a long time, but quite frankly, every retailer ought to offer that option. If you want your receipt emailed to you, we'll be happy to do it. It allows you to both track and capture email addresses, which allows you to target people better. Makes a lot of sense for both for both retailers and for customers. And finally, when I was at the airport in Chicago, getting ready to come down to Florida, I had the most amazing surprise. I discovered that I had qualified for the TSA pre-check program. I'm not quite sure how this happened. I think it's because I'm a United Million Mile Flyer. I get there, they take me through, I get to the machine. Basically, all I have to do is put my iPhone into my briefcase. I slide my duffel bag and my briefcase right through the X-ray machine. Don't have to take any toiletries out, don't have to take anything else out, not my computer, and then I walk right through the scanner with my shoes on. It was miraculous. It was awesome. And I got to tell you, it just goes to show you that when you want to make even a chore like going through airport security better, you can do it. It makes an awful lot of sense. We talk a lot about change here on Morning Newsbeat, and it's nice to get out in the real world and see changes, big ones, small ones, some that matter a lot, some that matter a little, taking place all around you. Change happens. We all have to be doing everything we can in our businesses to make people's lives just a little bit better. Just a little bit better, because that's the kind of change everybody's looking for. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. As always, I want to hear what's on your mind.